some question to test these values. This is very important. I will give you example. For example, yeah, I remember from my ex-company, they asked me the question in the interview: if one of your client give you personally 10,000 riyal, what will you do? How we will behave? We receive some answer. For example, some of the answer, it's a good answer, and we will give this 10,000 riyal to our company or our organization. But there is no right or wrong, but just we try to find the way of thinking. But I think the right answer was at this stage, to give back the client the money, because it's not belong to us, instead of give our ICD of our organization. This is maybe the right answer. I mean, there is no right or wrong at the end. Huh?
You need to report it. You don't have to give it back. You need to report it. It's not the right answer. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Integrity, you report it.
Report it.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yes,
You
yeah.
have to report first, and then somebody will decide. But you need to report it.
Yeah. We are talking about integrity. This is an real example about integrity. Report this, but you have to give back the money to the client, or not, or the HR team, as you like.
It's not a client. This one, it's a briber. It's not a client.
Yes.
Don't call it a client.
Exactly. Yes. At the end, brother, let us remember our values. These are our value. I suggest to read this value and say it in. Yeah, this is the last slide. Yeah, this is the last slide.
Question.
This is last slide.
Question and answer.
10 minutes.
Okay.
I think I have a question for myself and also for the one that will apply. How are you going to assess, and is there any scoring regarding the winner? Because we have seen the question, but I think for the transparency, we need to be very clear. I will be in a panel, so I'm talking as a member of the panel, and for all the people that are going to apply, we need to be very clear what would be the scoring and how actually we come with the decision. It will be qualitative, it will be quantitative. I don't know. I know there's a couple of questions, but how we can help them to understand, and as per the transparency, who will be and it be selected or not.
If I can answer this, then okay, that's really, the committee need to be held and discuss this really in detail, and they mostly they have to agree about a way of scoring each nomination. But in general, we need to bear in mind that we're talking about behavior, we're talking about attitude, and so I would imagine mostly the approach will be qualitative one than quantitative one. But because bearing in mind there is a number of people in that committee and there is a voting system, so I won't say trying, because at the end of the day it could be this challenge, definitely, different view, different perspective, but there is a committee and there is a voting, and at the end of the day who's the one who's getting more voting, and there is justification, and it will be discussed among all, and then will be decided. And then there is also another governance level, that's the CEO. Have to send to him and give him a justification. So I believe that's maybe a right governance.
Unlike innovation award, when we're talking about innovation award, you talk about something tangible. You can measure it. Here, to some extent, it's challenging. It's not easy to measure. But as Brother Suleiman said, we will try as much as we can to be to set some criteria. But this part, behavior, attitude, is subjective in general.
Okay, Brother Major.
I think I completely agree with these core values. There's absolutely no doubt. This is not an option. It's not an option that one person or few people who win the prize only, they have these values. These values are basics which have to be expected from everyone who is part of the ICD team or ICD family. Now here comes the problem when something is very difficult to measure, to be able to do justice and to be able to give a cash award. And now you're saying it's not just an award, there's a cash involved in it, so it's again a problem that I personally feel that on these where you cannot actually completely quantify, as you yourself said, to look at that, to give a cash. So what we might be actually doing is that if that cash award is significant, we might actually be doing a demotivating thing for the other people, saying, I don't have that much integrity, transparency, strategy, vision as someone else has. Whereas it's very difficult for you to make that judgment call. So if you are just awarding one person, two people, three people, then 130 or 140 that are left behind, are we saying that they have less integrity, they have less commitment to the vision or strategy, and how have we been able to actually reach to that conclusion? I think this is potentially something that you need to keep in mind when you are considering a cash award. On things which are very easy to justify, where you can actually demonstrate justice has been done, yes, I think you have a target and you say if you cross the target, then there is a cash award, then it's very easy, people don't get demotivated. But when things have become more complex, like here, which is we are talking of behavior, it's based on a lot of perception and very difficult to really judge among the many people as to who is better than the other. And all of us may be the same. All of us may be actually demonstrating all these values over there, which will pose a problem. So I think you need to think through on the concept of this. You launch this program. We recognize people who are exceptional on that, but I think we need to be careful on the effect that it is going to have on rest of the people also. We don't want to actually give them a feel that they are less transparent or they have less commitment to the strategy or vision.
Just to answer this, thank you, Brother Najam. Really, this very constructive feedback. I would agree with you. If we're looking at any reward, even the performance management, one of the disadvantages it could be like this, but at the end of the day, from different angle, it is important also to recognize people performance and as well how they demonstrate value and behavior. If you look at our performance, there is a competency in there. So at the end of the day, we could not be an objective and fair, maybe 100%, but if we cannot be, I don't think so, we should not to do it. At the end of the day, we have governance here, we have committee, and I would trust the people, judgment, we have to as well, and decide. Now, when we look at this one, this is a recognition. It's not when we say, okay, this gentleman, for example, has demonstrated maybe a situation where he being seen having a high integrity. That doesn't mean we are comparing him with the other. It's very important we know that. But it happens that he has a chance to demonstrate that he has this high integrity. But we're not saying other people they don't. But because he has done this, let's say I wanted to walk in the road and I found that maybe 100,000 Saudi riyal. This happened to me. No, I have this chance to return it, but maybe it doesn't happen to somebody else. But this doesn't mean he doesn't have the integrity or this. So it is, I do understand it could be challenging, really. I have to be transparent here. But at the end of the day, it is very important to recognize our people, to encourage them to demonstrate, because also we have to be frank here, people are different. For example, teamwork. Yes, maybe somebody he's good at teamwork, but there's somebody who's better. Now, I do understand sometimes difficult to decide who's better. That's why there is a nomination. Because it doesn't come from the committee, it's come from the people also. That's why we need to encourage people to give a nomination. Because if there is somebody who's really a good at one of these, let's say teamwork, and we are not nominating, we are doing injustice to him. And even if we are not nominating and we are not putting enough detail, we are also doing injustice to him. So this is really a shared thing from the staff as well as the management. So that's why I think all of us, we need to work together and participate. It's very important to make this successful as much as possible. Thank you. Osman?
Yes. Thank you very much for the presentation. Two quick observations and questions actually. First, on the decision criteria, it will be helpful actually to identify at least what are the areas that the committee members will look at. For example, one area could be excellence, another one could be integrity, another one could be the alignment with the strategy. So if the people knows that what are those areas, and if whether there will be any weightage between these criteria, whether there will be the weightages will be equal or whether there will be any difference in the weightages, that will be helpful to know upfront, so people can use that information when they prepare their submissions. The second thing is when it comes to submission, I noticed that there are four committee members, including, for example, IBES and the manager for IBES and the manager for the corporate marketing. Can they be also nominated? Can we nominate them? And what will be the procedure if we nominate them? Thank you.
Okay. I think, okay, just answering last, we need to be, honestly, this is the first time we're all out. We are a small number. It's going to be a learning curve for all of us. Let's be frank here. Because I don't want to say, oh, we will do it perfectly at the same time. And also we're seeing how people are reacting, how we are reacting to this one. It's very important. And what is our culture in general as well. That's also very important. Now, we're trying to make it as simple as possible. We are not saying somebody has to demonstrate all. Let's say you, Osman, you nominate somebody because he demonstrates only one of our state value. Let's say teamwork, or maybe integrity, or maybe whatever it is in there, or quality, or promoting excellence. So we are fine with this one. So we are not asking to demonstrate everything. So that's what I say. In terms of nomination of the committee, we have nominate, and this will be changed definitely as usual. Every year we'll nominate different people. So I thought this is easy. We nominate somebody, and the HR committee, they will approve it, and the CEO as well. So rather than just opening also another nomination. So just keep it simple. So I thought maybe, but let's roll it out, and then we will reflect. We do reflect. If we think that's something we could be implemented and it's very important, we can take it on board for the next round.
And I want to add something here. We are not talking here about evaluate or assess values of each individual.